Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So according to recent reports, Ed Woodward is prepared to sack Ole Gunnar Solsjaer if our poor run of form continues. Now we've already lost two of our opening three league games. We lost our opening game against Crystal Palace by 3-1. That was our worst defeat on an opening day of a Premier League season since 1995. And we recently lost to Tottenham by 6-1. That's our worst defeat under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. And our worst defeat since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And Solskjaer made an admission after the game saying that it was his worst day in his managerial career. And we grinded out a 3-2 win against Brighton, but in reality that game should have ended 2-2. So reflecting on this, we are currently sitting 16th in the Premier League. So we are near the relegation zone. Now, Pochettino is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United, because it did say last week that Man United were in contact with Mauricio Pochettino's representatives. I think Pochettino's interested in coming to Manchester United. Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at the club before Solskjaer came in December 2018. Now, my perception on Pochettino, I think he is a better manager than Solskjaer, and I think he would suit the strappings of the club. Because Pochettino is well proven in the Premier League. He's dealt with top players. My only element of concern about him, he has not won anything in terms of silverware. Now, Mauricio Pochettino did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. Last year, Pochettino guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. He enjoyed a short tenure with Southampton, but I think he guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era. And before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. Now, Pochettino has been managerless now for almost a year. At one point, Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Newcastle. But if we do appoint Pochettino in, he will be Manchester United's 5th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But there's a lot of Manchester United fans that have said, we've got to get a manager in with a proven pedigree, such as Jurgen Klopp or the Pep Guardiola, for prime example. It will only cost us around £4 million to sack Solskjaer. That's totally contrast to the 18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Now, not all of the blame stems from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think a lot of the blame stems from Woodward and the Glazers. We've been very critical of Woodward and the Glazers for several years. Obviously, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. I think the managers that we've had since Alex Ferguson retired have not been backed enough. And I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been backed enough as Manchester United manager. And like I said, throughout the course of the summer transfer window, he did deserve more backing. We missed out on all of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets throughout the course of the summer transfer window. We obviously missed out on Jadon Sancho. We missed out on Jack Grealish. We missed out on Nathan Ake. We missed out on Sergio Reguilon. We missed out on Gareth Bale. We missed out on other targets as well that want his priority targets. Obviously, we missed out on Thiago Alcantara, missed out on Ousmane Dembele. We could still get Ousmane Dembele in January. We missed out on Erling Haaland back in January, and I said it was a shame that we missed out on him because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solsjaer type signing. We also missed out on Jude Bellingham. And Solskjaer revealed quite a few times during the summer transfer window that he was very frustrated with the board. You know, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012, so he's been with us around 8 years or so now. The Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. They've been with us around 15 years or so now. I've got to say, Matt Judge, he's also accountable for some of the failure of transfers. Matt Judge has been at the club now around 7 years or so. I think the biggest culprits, though, are the Glazers, because the Glazers are the one that recommended Woodward in, and they recommended Matt Judge in. And I don't think the Glazers have got any intentions of selling Manchester United. And they've no intentions of getting rid of Ed Woodward, you know. Also, too, players have got to take responsibility, because there's players at Manchester United that I don't think are good enough. And, you know, there's players that have had a bad start to this season. You know, David De Gea, I don't think, you know, he's good enough anymore. You know, David De Gea's been a long servant at Manchester United. This is now his 10th season at the football club, David De Gea's. He has made over 400 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions. 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. But De Gea has been a liability in the last couple of years, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made, and he's already conceded 11 goals in his last 3 games. You know, I think probably David De Gea is going to remain our number one goalkeeper, but I don't think David De Gea should remain number one. Like I've said already, I think we should put Dean Henderson as number one, because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one goalkeeper, because he's got that experience behind him. And in Dean Henderson's last 2 games, he's kept 2 clean sheets. Not so long ago, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United worth 120 grand a week. And Dean Henderson's been part of the club for several years. He's been at Manchester United since the age of 14. I think David De Gea could leave Manchester United next summer. When he does leave Manchester United, he will go back to Spain. You know, will David De Gea. But he's been good over the years because he's won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards. Wan-Bissaka, he's also had a very, very poor start to the season. Obviously, Manchester United will still keep him because obviously he's our first choice right back, and you know, this is Wan-Bissaka's 2nd season at the club. He's lacking that attacking intent at the moment, and he's got to improve on it. His defensive contribution's always been very, very good. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. Victor Lindelof, I don't think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. Solskjaer did confirm that Eric Bailly will play more regularly this season, but obviously now Bailly sustained a hamstring injury whilst he was on international duty with Ivory Coast. I think Bailly's a better centre-half than Lindelof, but my element of concerns about Eric Bailly, he's just too injury-prone. I think Bailly will stay for at least this season. Bailly's enjoyed a good 4 years or so now at Man United. Got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. But Victor Lindelof, he has had some good games as a Manchester United player, but he's also had a lot of bad games. He's enjoyed around 3 years or so at the club. Got Lindelof back in 2017 from Benfica for around £30 million. Harry Maguire, he's also enjoyed a very bad start to the season. He was accountable for 2 of Tottenham's goals in the 6-1 defeat recently. I've already said to you, I think Manchester United need to take the captaincy of Harry Maguire because I don't think he's good enough to captain the team. Doesn't show enough leadership. I've already said I think we should give the captaincy to either Bruno Fernandes or Donny van der Beek. We give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure back in January. This is Harry Maguire's second season at Manchester United. Obviously, we got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. So as it stands at the moment, he's the second most expensive sign at the club behind Pogba, and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world. Luke Shaw, he's enjoyed a poor start to the season. Luke Shaw is no longer our first choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. We'll still keep Luke Shaw at Manchester United. I think he had some very good games last season. First part of last season was injured. Towards the end of last season, sustained an ankle injury. My element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. Luke Shaw's been long serving. He's enjoyed over 6 years now at Man United. Got him from Southampton back in 2014 for £30 million. Paul Pogba, right, he's also enjoyed a poor start to the season now. There's a lot of uncertainty regarding Paul Pogba's future. Now, like I updated you recently, Paul Pogba made an admission saying that his dream is to play for Real Madrid one day. So he basically wants to join Real Madrid. But according to the AS, which is a Spanish publication, they have recently said that Real Madrid are not going to make a second attempt to sign Paul Pogba, so they're not interested in getting him next summer. Around this time last year, Paul Pogba said that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he was talking a lot about Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane. It has been confirmed that there's no talks regarding a new contract for Paul Pogba. Because as it stands at the moment, Pogba's got like his 8 months left on his current contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. I think before we kicked off our season, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, he come out and said that Man United will hold talks over a new contract, and he said that Paul Pogba wanted to stay at the football club. A couple of weeks before the end of last season, it said that Pogba was close to signing a 5-year deal with Manchester United. As it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. This is his 5th season at the club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. Analysing the vast majority of Paul Pogba's career, though, he's been inconsistent. A lot of his performances have been sort of comparison to his ones when he was at Juventus. Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 exceptional years with Juventus, and there's been talks about him possibly going back to Juventus. Pogba was good towards the end of last season for Man United. He's had some good periods here and there. For the vast majority of last season, though, he had that ankle injury, so didn't really have a perception on him, but sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. I think Fred, McTominay, Matic, they haven't had the best of starts to this season as well. Possibly Fred could be moved on at some point next year. Before there was rumours of Fred possibly leaving the football club, but Fred had come out and said that he wanted to stay at Manchester United and he wants to be an essential player and win trophies for the club. Fred's been at the club now a couple of years, got him in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window, paid around £52 million for him. He had some good games last season, did Fred, though, to be fair. McTominay, I have got reservations about him. Like I said, he seems to be too safe with the possession. In some games, his positioning is poor. Is he good enough, McTominay, to emulate into a world-class midfielder? He had some good games last season for us. Don't forget, at one point, he had that ankle injury. Not so long ago, he signed a 5-year deal with Manchester United, McTominay. Nemanja Matic, he's in his 30s now, he's aging up, you know. Maybe could stay for this season, then possibly could be moved on. Matic, he has been subjected to transfer speculation before. Matic did sign a 3-year deal, didn't he? It wasn't so long ago, was it? Like a month or 2 ago, he signed this 3-year deal. Matic has enjoyed a good 3 years or so now at Man United. Got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Yeah. So there's a lot of players that have enjoyed bad start to the season. We've also got some good players. I think we've got at least a good 4 or 5 players in our team. You know, I think Rashford's very, very good. Don't forget, Rashford recently got that MBA award for services in vulnerable children. I give Rashford a lot of credit for that. Rashford has been part of the club for several years. You know, Rashford is now 22 and he's been with us since the age of 7. So he's been with us around 15 years. He's been in our senior squad since 2016 as Marcus Rashford. And since then has become an integral part of our team. We know that obviously Rashford does play on that left-hand side. Rashford did have an ankle injury before we kicked off our season. He had a back injury for us last season when he was out for a few months. I also like Mason Greenwood a lot. I think he's a very, very good player. I don't think he's had a bad start to this season, Greenwood. He recently got withdrawn from the England squad by Gareth Southgate. Solsjaer actually backed Gareth Southgate's decision to withdraw him from the England squad. And we had a few issues with Greenwood before we kicked off our season. Mason Greenwood is currently our number 11. He's the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11 shirt. And he does look very effective on that right-hand side, does Greenwood. I think Anthony Martial is also a very, very good player for us. He hasn't had the best of starts to this season, but Man United will keep Anthony Martial. I think Martial flourished under Solsjaer last season, very, very good. He was also very, very good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We got Anthony Martial, was it for around £36 million, potentially rising up to £57 million based on goals and achievements. He's been at the club now 5 years or so. Martial obviously plays in that central position. He's very effective in that central position, even though it isn't his predominant position. For the vast majority of his Man United career, he's been playing out wide. Modena Gallo, in the games he's played in recently, has been inconsistent, hasn't really been given that enough service up there. Obviously, Gallo doesn't start now in our league games. He's obviously no backup now. He's Modena Gallo. He does get his chances, though, in the cup games. Last season, Modena Gallo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. The main explanation we brought him in on deadline day back in January was to get a cover up to Marcus Rashford. Just after the first lockdown, we extended Modena Gallo's loan until January 2021. So he'll stay until his loan expires. Bruno Fernandes, also a very, very good player. He is one of the best signings Manchester United have made since Ferguson's retirement. Probably the best signing we've made under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Bruno Fernandes has been at the club now for almost a year. We got Bruno Fernandes back in January from Sporting Lisbon. Didn't we get him in a deal worth like £55 million? Fernandes signed a 5-year deal with the club. I think he's got around, 16 goals or something like that for Man United in all competitions since his arrival. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. Last season, Bruno Fernandes won some Matt Busby Player of the Season. And I think he's won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times. So he has made the difference in the team. Donny van de Beek, he's also a very good player. He's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. There's question marks around Solskjaer. Why is he not yet given Donny van de Beek a start in the Premier League? He's not yet made his full Premier League debut as Donny van de Beek. We got him in a deal, was it worth like £40 million? Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year deal with Manchester United with an option of a further year and currently wears that number 34 shirt. I also think that Juan Mata is a very, very good player. I think, Juan Mata should play more regularly, to be honest with you. Don't forget, Juan Mata has played in both our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton. And he got given man of the match in both of them games because he scored in the Luton game, he scored in the Brighton game, and also got an assist in the Brighton game. Juan Mata has enjoyed a very good career at Manchester United. He's been at the club now for over 6 years. He scored 50 goals in 257 appearances in all competitions, and he's provided around 45 assists. We got Juan Mata back in 2014 from Chelsea for just over £37 million. I give you the news regarding Juan Mata yesterday. It says that he's been offered a lucrative contract worth around $15 million a year to go and play in Saudi Arabia, but the club is unnamed at the moment. So possibly Juan Mata could accept this offer. Daniel James, Solsjaer was saying towards the end of the window that he was prepared to sell Daniel James for around £25 million. Leeds United are the ones that have been interested in Daniel James. Don't forget, back in January 2019, Leeds came very, very close to getting him. We got Daniel James in June last year for around £18 million. He signed a 5-year deal with us. He's had some bad games, though, as a Manchester United player, Daniel James. So, yeah. And there's obviously a couple of more players we're still looking to get rid of. We're obviously looking to offload Rojo. We're looking to offload Phil Jones. Lingard is another player we're looking to offload. Don't forget, Sergio Romero said that he's open to leaving the club because Romero's obviously now our third choice goalkeeper. Because Dean Henson returned not so long ago. Romero won't want to be at Man United's third choice. Romero's enjoyed around 5 years or so now at the club. Got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. So there you go. By the way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed that talks are still ongoing regarding a director of football. Now, we have been in the process of trying to get a director of football in since the Jose Mourinho era. And Ed Woodward's come out a few times and said that he wants Manchester United to get a director of football in. And I said it'd be very beneficial if Manchester United could do it. If we do get a director of football in, we need someone who knows the club inside out and someone who's got that experience. And before, there was quite a few former Manchester United players that were linked with that director's robe. Cheese Evra was linked with it, Rio Ferdinand was linked with it, Edwin van der Sar was linked with it, Darren Fletcher was linked with it. But it would be beneficial for someone to come and join Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's structure, wouldn't it? I think Juventus sporting director he linked with it as well, Fabio Paratici. So, yeah. Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for almost 2 years. He has obviously now been Manchester United manager since December 2018. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. And I have taken positives from his tenure. It's not all negative. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made some good signings so far. He has spent over £200 million since he became Manchester United manager. He's brought around 10 senior players in. Obviously, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and he brought Odi Nagala in on loan. And in this year's summer transfer window, he obviously brought Donny van de Beek in, as you all know. He brought Edinson Cavani in. We've obviously brought Edinson Cavani on a free transfer. Edinson Cavani signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around 230 grand a week, and he will be our new number 7. That has been confirmed. Edinson Cavani revealed that it was Angel Di Maria and Ander Herrera that advised him to come to Man United, because Angel Di Maria and Ander Herrera are two former Manchester United players. Edinson Cavani did leave PSG earlier on in the summer. Edinson Cavani enjoyed around 7 years with PSG. He scored 200 goals in 301 games in all competitions. He scored 50 goals in 116 internationals for Uruguay, didn't he? But the question is, will Edinson Cavani start? It did say actually his debut against Newcastle is delayed due to COVID-19 restrictions. But obviously Martial's unavailable, don't forget. He's got suspended in the 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. He's got a 3-match suspension as Anthony Martial. So there's a chance there for Edinson Cavani. We also brought Alex Telles in. I think Alex Telles is a very, very good signing. We paid just over £15 million for him. Alex Telles signed a 4-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. Like I said, he's going to be our first choice left back. We also brought Facundo Pellistri in from Club Atletico Penaril. I think we got him for around £9 million. He signed a 5-year deal with Manchester United with an option of a further year. We also got Amad Traore in from Atlanta. He's already completed his Manchester United medical, as you all know. He won't be joining the club though until January. Something to do with work permit issues. But we've still got him on the board. And Solsjaer's also brought a few academy players into the football club. And that's another positive I can take. I do like the way that Solsjaer has promoted the youth. The young players have been given their chances. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended into Manchester United. We've also had some good periods under him, towards the end of last season. We went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions. We went on a 14-game unbeaten run in the Premier League, and we did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. I think when Solskjaer was the interim manager, I think he won like his first 8 games. So they are the positives you can take. But this season is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's second full season at Manchester United, isn't it? And I was saying before this season that this was going to be a big season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I said to you, didn't I, what would represent a good season for Manchester United? And that would be to finish in the top 4, or the top 2, or the top 3 if possible, and win a trophy. I said I want Manchester United to win a trophy, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. And I said, didn't I, how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can avoid getting the sack, and that's results improving, players improving, and exceeding his expectations, But I've always said I want Solskjaer's managerial tenure to work out, because I like him a lot. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. I just don't think he's good enough to succeed as a manager. He hasn't got that proven pedigree. Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. He's managed around 90-odd games now for Man United, and he has won over 50 games as Manchester United manager. I think he's got just under 2 years left on his current contract, Solskjaer, at the club. I credit for what he did last season, though, in his first full season, because I think last season he exceeded most of his expectations, got us qualification for the Champions League, also finished 3rd, and we did progress to 3 semi-finals. But, in the last 7 years, Manchester United have been playing catch-up, because we've obviously had different managers with different philosophies. We sacked Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho since Ferguson's retirement. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players, and we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And I said to you on one of my videos I did yesterday, we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Sir Alex Ferguson's last season. You know, but it's just going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy. Our next game's Newcastle, as you all know, after the international break. So Man United have got to get back to winning ways. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.